Now here we are going to talk about affinity and toleration. We will be talking about pod affinity, node affinity, pod anti-affinity, node anti-affinity, taints and toleration that we will be covering. Now when we talk about the Kubernetes scheduler, it is very efficient. It schedules the pod according to the resources available or free on the node. But sometimes we are interested in scheduling the pods on a particular node, or we want if one particular node is running on a node, then do not run our new pod on that node. Or our requirement could be choose the node where SSD hard disk is available. In short, in some cases we want pods to be scheduled according to our wishes, not that of a Kubernetes scheduler. Or in a little bit less blunt manner, we are saying that to Kubernetes scheduler that please keep our preferences in mind when scheduling the pods. But please remember, too much interference will not serve the purpose. So we will see how to do all these things. So in our case, we are going to create the directory for storing YAML file. So K8s directory is already there. For this we are going to create one directory, make directory affinity. See, we will go into that directory and we will verify that we are to the right directory. Now whatever files are there, we are going to create files there. So first of all, let us see the Kubernetes node details. So we will run this command kubectl get nodes. Now it is showing that 3 nodes are there. Master.example.com, it is ready. Worker1.example.com, worker2, they all 3 are ready. But we want little bit more information. So for that, what we are going to do, kubectl get nodes, and what we are specifying, -1 is show label. So what will happen? It is going to give you the detail, plus it is going to give you the detail what are labels there. One of the most important label is this host name. Now in this label, in master.example.com, the label is your master.example.com, and in the case of this worker1, the label is worker1.example.com, and in the case of worker2, the host name is worker2.example.com. That means one important label is host name. It is showing labels master.example.com, worker1.example.com, worker2.example.com. Master node has a taint called no schedule. Now if we are going to say that kubectl describe node, and we are going to then search for one string called taints. So what it is saying, master.example.com, it has got one taints. The name of the taint is no schedule. Now what is the meaning? That means no schedule, no pod will be launched on master.example. In all the earlier example, we have seen that whenever we were creating pods directly or indirectly by using ReplicaSet or deployment, they all were getting created on worker1 and worker2. No pod was scheduled on the master. Although we can remove this, we can change it to make sure that your pods are running on master also. But normally you should not do that, because master node is handling lot of other things. So a little bit less load is always welcome on that. So by default this node is tainted. And if you are going to say kubectl get node wide, so it is giving you further details that this is the version of Kubernetes, this is the internal IP, that is the kernel version, operating system name on which we have installed the cluster is CentOS Linux 7, and the container runtime is our Docker. So a lot of useful information we are able to get. The most important is host name. Now in our case, what we are going to do, we are going to add labels to node and then get node details. So in our case, we will be using that command kubectl label nodes worker1. We want to add one label environment equal to production. But if you are going to see, it is giving one error from server, node worker not found, because we should specify the whole name, fully qualified domain name. So this was wrong command. So the exact command is kubectl label nodes worker1.example.com, and we are saying that environment is equal to production. So what it is saying, worker1.example.com labeled Then again we are going to add another label, kubectl label nodes worker2.example.com. Here we are labeling it as a ssd equal to yes. That means according to our requirement, whether worker1 is a production system, we can set the variable. Whether this worker2 is having ssd hard disk, according to that we can set the labels. So worker2 was labeled. So now when we are going to run this command kubectl get nodes, what it is saying, show labels, it is showing that different labels, that on worker1 you will be having one label, that means environment equal to production, and in the case of worker2 you will be having one label called ssd equal to yes. So what we have done, set the label environment equal to production on worker1.example.com and label ssd yes on worker2 example.com, and with this command we have viewed the label. Now we are going to talk about what is node affinity and what is anti-affinity.